I actually didn't notice that they were using magic on the right here. I did notice this in the battle, though. The flames! The flames! That's not even the worst bit of flames that we'll see in this battle. All right, welcome back to the war. So I don't know if I've pointed this out in any of the past episodes, but we do actually have some incursions by the dwarves here. Actually, I think I did point them out as they were crossing to the north here to fight the bone rattlers. But they've crossed back into my territory now and are just kind of... I think they're leaving. I don't believe they're actually like sticking around, but at the same time, I don't like how freely they just pass through my territory. So I guess the dead do take their pound of flesh as they go through. Due to like the vampiric corruption. And again, these guys are managing to replenish because of their encamp stance. Well, again, hopefully they'll just leave and I won't have to bother with them. I have recruited a couple of necromancers since I had the means to do it now. They do actually boost income. So I was actually just going to have them stay in these two provinces here since I think they're my most wealthy ones at this point. Well, I mean, Sylvania, Southern Sylvania definitely is. I'm not so sure about Northern Sylvania, though I think it is. It's the most developed, I would say, than these newly conquered provinces over there. I also wonder if these stack. I'll have to test that and see if I can have, like, should I put every single necromancer that I ever recruit here in Southern Sylvania, since it's my wealthiest province, and that would just boost it to the, to the stratosphere? Just make it unendingly wealthy, or is it better to spread them around to other provinces? I don't actually know the answer to that. I also have another vampire who's going to act as an agent on the campaign map, kind of like Posner, just causing havoc, causing chaos, causing problems for my enemies. So anyway, this is the turn after we defeated Karl Franz and destroyed basically all of his, or what I assume is all of his current armies. So we do need to hurry up and get over there to start taking some of his territory before he gets more armies again. I do have the option for peace right now, but I don't have any other immediate enemies that I'm at war with. So I'm hoping I can take some territory, beat him up a bit, and then if someone else does declare war, we can always just peace out with Reichland and then go after whoever that other person is. Now there is one exception to this rule, and that is the Changeling. Before Vlad leaves the province of, I think this is Stirland, isn't it? Yes, it is. Before he leaves Stirland, we need to remove this particular problem from our midst. I actually think he does have a powerful enough army to remove them, though I think he'll also get some help from the garrison here at Flensburg. Let's see, where's Flensburg? Here it is. Obviously, that's not a lot of help, but, every bit of cannon fodder helps. Every casualty they take is perhaps one that they prevented Vlad from taking. So, this is actually how we're going to start off. We're going to just remove the... I can't really believe how much damage I think he's actually doing, because he's doing damage on multiple levels that I didn't realize. So, like, there's the stimulate growth thing that actually it reduces it in enemy provinces, so he's stifling growth in the area. He's taking money because of the raiding, which obviously that's not a lot, but that's my money. Let's see, what else? I think he's also hurting public order. Yes, -5 due to raiding. So basically, I want him out. I want him out, and since, there's no enemy armies immediately nearby, this seems like the opportunity to do it. Alright, perfect. I think his troops are pretty good. I have already looked at their stats and their abilities, and I am a little afraid of... where's the... Yes, Warp Flame. I'm actually very worried about what the heck that is going to do to my troops. Very worried. He has also got a lot of flying troops, though I don't think they're too strong. I think my Vargeis will probably be able to handle them. Except for maybe the big one here. That one could cause us issues. All right, but anyway, regardless, we must get right into the battle. All right, welcome to the battle. So just to activate the interface here for a moment, I've basically got all of my troops back here, a long line of infantry with crypt horrors on the left, Vlad and Isabella on the right, with the corpse cart more or less in the middle there. My flying units have zipped on ahead a bit, and then I've got all of my cavalry here on the left. And the reason I put them all on the left was because it didn't look like we had a lot of room to maneuver here on our right to strike at the enemy. So I decided we would just have them all charge in from the left here, and they're actually going over there to line up on, well, our left and the enemy's right. The enemy has shifted slightly to face us, so I'm actually going to adjust my own line here in a minute. You can see the flying units are already moving. I do hesitate to attack for just a bit, though, and that's because we have the garrison reinforcements, which I'll have to bring up the interface again. They will be here in mere moments from behind the enemy, and they provide an excellent distraction. Partially because we don't really care how many of them are destroyed, but also because, again, they're literally going to show up right here in the enemy's rear, and so they distract the enemy quite a lot and take away a lot of his troops. I was a little nervous about just how many flying units they have. In fact, I didn't realize the hero unit here would also fly. Hello, you ungodly abomination. They kind of remind me of our bats, and I think their stats are... Well, I don't know if I want to say comparable. The 25, 61... Where are my bats at? Yeah, I mean, I guess my bats are better in some ways, but they're better in other ways. But not the Vargeist. The Vargeist are firmly better than they are. Oh, I actually didn't notice that they were using magic on the right here. I did notice this in the battle, though. The flames! The flames! That's not even the worst bit of flames that we'll see in this battle. So my infantry line is now charging forward, mostly because our reinforcements are now showing up here, and I want to make sure I make good use of their distraction, especially since it takes so long for my troops to come forward. Oh, look at all these flames! My flying units are engaging their flying units, and we actually win quite handily, except for our bats, who are slain. Though I think on the end battle screen... Oh, do you see that there? Did you see that flamethrower right across our troops there? That's what I was talking about when I said there were worse flames. On the end of battle screen, I think we actually do manage to get our bats back due to replenishment. Now, over here, you can see the knights and the direwolves are charging in. Again, just trying to make use of the distraction that the garrison is providing to attack these guys from behind. I do end up pulling out the direwolves, though, because they actually end up taking a lot of damage there. My infantry are so slow that they're still trying to come to grips with the enemy on this side, though the crypt horrors are firmly in play now. It's also, of course, the enemy did pull back to engage the garrison, so there's that, too. Our Vargeist actually do quite well. They really help out picking off some of these units here. This particular unit spends much of the battle just engaging the hero unit, whom you can maybe barely see in there through the flapping of wings and the slashing of claws. Now the Vargeist pouring in to attack these blue horrors. My bats are still there. Huh. I'm guessing they'll die soon enough. I don't think the garrison actually suffers all that many casualties anyways, and I assume it's just because they're arranged into this big old blob here and just fighting the enemy like on a couple of sides. Again, there's also the fact that these crypt horrors and the various cavalry units are assisting them from behind here. And you see I pulled out the direwolves there due to the damage they were taking. The center and the right is basically one. We do have the changeling over here, who is being pursued by Vlad and by Isabella. They've been actually like basically hexing him or cursing him or whatever you want to call it this whole battle, trying to kill him. Though actually I think they also did it to the hero unit too. Okay, so I wasn't blind or seeing things. In the battle this happened too, the actual battle, where he turned into some other being for a bit. Can't remember what exactly it was, but I was like, Wait, did they have another hero unit that I wasn't aware of? But no, that is not what happened. And now the Vargheist landing in amongst them. Alright, yes, everyone is now destroyed except for the Changeling himself, and he'll go down shortly. And you can see the, I think it's the cockatrice back there who is fleeing. There's also some, I think they were called Slangors. That's that unit back there that's also running. Oh, and just like that, he vanishes. Alright, so the Changeling is defeated. And I think it was actually at that moment that the battle was won, and I technically could have ended it right there. But of course, we'll do our standard procedures, chasing down the routing enemies. So this unit and the cockatrice were the only ones that routed. The others all seem to... I don't want to say... Well, I guess disintegrate. They kind of were like undead, where they would just disintegrate after I assume their morale or whatever dropped too low. But I don't think they're undead. I'm pretty sure... And you see, this is where my lack of knowledge of the Warhammer lore maybe shows me up a bit. But I'm pretty sure they're demons. And I didn't think demons disintegrated, but I guess they do. Or maybe certain kinds of demons disintegrate, because I don't know. Are these guys demons? It said they were Slangors, but I don't know what a Slangor is. So do they... Oh wait, is it a Slangor? Oh no, Zangor. Zangor. I mean, close enough, but anyway, Zangors are the ones that are still here, and I'm guessing they're either not demons or they are demons, but they just don't disintegrate. Maybe, again, that only happens maybe to certain kinds of demons. All right, and just like that, the battle is over. The Changeling is defeated, and I will see you back on the campaign map. All right, victory is ours. Oh, we completely lost one of the Fellbat, or I guess our only Fellbat unit. To be fair, there was a lot of flying enemies in that one, and the Fellbats are not exactly the most powerful unit, flying unit that I've got. So maybe that was inevitable. Okay, how does that do replenishment-wise? Oh, does that mean I would get the Bat unit back? Because I can see when I highlight over Army Replenished, it does give me that unit back. It does heal up most of the rest of the units. I guess that's probably what I would want then. Whoa. Trickster cult discovered. Within Flensburg. Destroy it before... Wait, there's a cult in Flensburg? What does this mean? Trickster cult discovered. Discovered foreign entities. Oh, I have to pay money to get rid of that. What even is this? Income generated. Oh my... They were doing even more damage than I thought they were. Because like this here, it says income from all buildings, negative 10% to the owner. What does this do? Oh, I guess this allows him to recruit different units in this region. I guess they didn't actually hurt anything, but no, he was doing even more harm than I thought he was. Okay, well, I mean, we have the money for it, and we kind of have to, so we're just going to do it. Oh, just like that? It's instantly destroyed? That's fine. Alright. Oh, right. They're not actually defeated. Because that was the first attack we did, and so they still have that one surviving unit. I guess we can go down there and kill it really quick. That's interesting, though. I see they don't have a lord. It's just that unit. I think this happened in Warhammer 2. If you defeated a lord in an army, and then like his army still survived, though, then they would just summon up another lord. Like another one would just spawn in. I think that happens with your armies, too. If you lose your lord, like a menu would pop up and say, choose a new lord. That doesn't seem to have happened to them. Alright, well, anyway, regardless, I want you out. Out, out, out. Alright, welcome to this very short battle here. Basically, I've got Isabella on this side, and she's just cursed the bird here. And then the Vargheist and the bats are going to swarm him to death. Maybe I shouldn't have had the bats engage, because he might be able to do a lot of damage to them. Is he doing a lot of damage to them? It doesn't look like it. In fact, it looks like he's about to be defeated anyways. Alright, so we've won. Are you dead? Not yet, but he's going down. Slowly but surely. Trying to get out of this immense swarm of Vargheists and bats. That's going to be a problem. I don't think you're going to be able to get out of there. And there we have it. So, I will see you guys back once again on the campaign map. Alright, and just like that, I believe that, or at least I hope that's the end of the, what do you call them? Faction destroyed. Dimmed Suns? Huh. Was that the name of his faction? The Dimmed Suns? That doesn't look like their symbol. Basically, I'm hoping that the... Oh, Trickster Cult destroyed? Oh, no, that's the Trickster Cult being destroyed. Okay, that worries me a little bit. I thought that the Changeling was... Yeah, I was fighting the Changeling a moment ago. Oh, is the Trickster Cult technically a different... Oh, wait, Dimmed Suns. And I see that that's an Orc army? Okay, that must have been an Orc army. Oh, wait, was that the random Orc army that spawned over here? I guess they managed to already get themselves killed attacking someone. Okay, but still, I am a little worried here, because I thought, does the Changeling have other armies now, and so now I'm at war with him? Oh, fudge.
Chaos incarnate.
Wait, why is the Changeling still here? I cannot get a peace treaty out of him. Dang it. I thought that was like his only army and his only... Because he didn't have any settlements or anything, and still doesn't have any settlements. So I thought that was like his only army, but apparently he does have armies somewhere else, and now they're going to pop up and stab me in the back when I least expect it. No! No! I didn't want to acquire another enemy like that. Well, I mean, I guess the raiding is done. The stealing of my money is gone. So, I guess there is some victory here. It's just a little annoying. Oh, I was sure that he was going to be destroyed and that was going to be it. Alright, but I guess, anyway, that's it for now. I assume the next time I bring you guys on, it'll be once we start pushing into Reichland. Giving them their just desserts for what they have done to us and attacked us from behind like that. Alright, but anyway, I will let you guys go for now, and I will bring you back as the war continues. Alright, welcome back to the war. So let's just get some campaign map stuff out of the way. I think it's only been a couple of turns since you guys were last here. First off, the dwarves seem to be coming back to my territory again, but I think this time it's actually because they're getting beaten up a bit by the Scabby-Eye tribe. So I'm not sure if they're just retreating from them, or maybe they'll even just turn around and attack them next turn. They certainly have tons of troops here, so I think they would be able to attack Spite Backbiter, which that's quite the name. I think that means that these are the only two settlements that they have left, actually. In fact, I think I can check that. Yes, they only have those two there, so perfect. The dwarves are being distracted by greenskins. That works for me. Now, we did discover two more trickster cults, one in Wordbad and one in the Moot, and I have destroyed them. So, hopefully, their ill effects will no longer hurt my provinces. Speaking of the Changeling, though, who I assume dropped those trickster cults on our heads, he actually came to me with asking for a peace treaty on the end turn there, on one of those two end turns. And I accepted because, first off, I have no idea where he is, and he also doesn't have any, like, settlements for me to take, so I just don't think there's any point in being at war with him anymore. And we've kicked him out of our territory, and that's what we wanted. Now, there's nothing really else to discuss down here, so let's get to our war with Reichland. which continues this turn, this time on Reichland's own soil. So first off, Posner is sitting here in the center of the province, and that's why we have all this excellent view of what's going on here. So Kalb here actually started off in Grunburg, but he retreated as we came closer, and I'm actually really worried about him because he can recruit troops, of course, but also Altdorf has this really heavy garrison. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to have Oswald actually take Grunburg, and then Vlad's just going to shoot right past him and start heading to Altdorf, because I want to place it under siege right away. I'm not sure if he'll necessarily be able to take it because of that heavy garrison, but I think it's worth at least having him trudge over there and start a siege. Certainly, I think if they left the safety of the walls and stuff, I think we would be fine. We do need to talk a bit about the composition of our two armies. They have changed ever so slightly. Oswald, I guess the types of troops he has are more or less the same, but he's gotten some more experienced ones, and he's grabbed some regiments of renown that we had lying around. So, first off, one of the crypt ghouls he had was replaced with the Feasters in the Dusk, and we also replaced one of his regular direwolves with the Dire Pack. You can see he now has the Stalkers to replace one of his skeleton units. I basically had him go over to Vlad's army and take them off his hands, along with this Bat unit and both of his Direwolf units, just because they were more experienced. So I had Oswald just disband the ones that he had. And the same with that one Bat unit. And the reason I had him take those was just to boost up his army a little bit, but also that meant Vlad could make use of the Raised Dead pool that was over here to get some even better units. We replaced the Stalkers with another Graveguard with Halberds. We replaced the Bats with this Regiment of Renown, the Devils of Schwarzhofen. So they're just another Vargeist unit, except even better. We replaced the two Direwolves with another unit of Blood Knights and Black Knights with Lances and Bardane. Actually, these guys are actually so expensive, especially the Blood Knights. I actually wanted to just replace the Direwolves with another couple of Black Knight units, but for some reason they disappeared from the Raised Dead pool, and so I wasn't able to get them. And I very nearly re-recruited some Direwolves, but I was like, oh, I want better units! So I sort of bit the bullet and recruited them despite the hit to my income. I think we're firmly done at this point with upgrading armies. Vlad's army is very expensive, very powerful, but very expensive. So I think from now on we'll focus on creating new armies with either cheap units or at least maybe more mid-tier units, at least until our income is up a little higher. Because right now I'm basically able to, what's the word for it, invest in Sylvania and to a lesser degree in the Moot. So actually the Moot's doing pretty well from an investment standpoint. But basically, Stirland, Wissenland, and Solund are basically, like, I've barely invested anything in them at all. I mean, partially this was because they were on the front lines, and so I didn't want to invest anything that I could just lose immediately, but also, I just don't have the money to, like, upgrade every province right now, so focusing on my core provinces here in Sylvania and the Moot. We'll just have to expand to the other provinces as money becomes available. So, anyway, like I said, Oswald is going to take Grunburg, Vlad is going to shoot for Altdorf, and while he holds Altdorf under siege, I should mention, this is the entirety of Reichland's settlements here, these 5. So, Helmgart, Eilhart, Ubersreich, Altdorf, and Grunburg. And so the idea here, I think, is that I'm actually going to have Oswald swoop in and take all of these smaller settlements here. Because I think their garrisons are weak enough that even with his not exactly powerful army, he could still swoop in there and take them. And while he's doing that, Vlad will hold Altdorf under siege, building up siege equipment, weakening the garrison, and preventing them, hopefully, from recruiting some great units, because I assume Altdorf has some pretty good buildings. I think, actually, that might be something I can check. They can definitely get some good cavalry units there, for sure. Though, now that I think about it, I believe these provinces, or these settlements, would also be able to recruit units, because they're all part of the same province here. So he would still be able to recruit different types of units from these settlements as well, if they have any recruitment buildings. But anyway, I'm hoping that if we hold Altdorf under siege and we have Oswald just sort of blitz through the rest of the province, we can just crush Reichland before they manage to build up any military forces again. I don't think Oswald can take Helmgard on his own, unfortunately, because they actually have a considerable garrison as well. But maybe once we've taken Altdorf, you know, we've weakened them enough that we can just walk in there and take it with Vlad's army. We can then turn around and take Helmgard as well, hopefully. So, without any further delay, let's just go ahead and get right into the battle here. Oh, I don't know if I pointed this out, but I actually could get a peace treaty at pretty much any time I wanted with Reichland. So, if we do get attacked elsewhere, I mean, I'm not particularly expecting any other attacks, really. I mean, attacks can come at any time, so I don't know what... That doesn't really mean anything when I say I'm not expecting an attack. But most of the factions that I'm looking at are either not hostile, or the ones that are hostile don't really have the word for it, the time for me. Talabakland, for example. Let's see, they've had their butts kicked by whoever these guys are. Who are these guys? The Guntites. What a name. But they've been beating up Talabakland. The orcs actually don't hate me. Or the greenskins up here don't hate me. The dwarves are busy being attacked by the Scabby Eye tribe, as I already noted. I am a little worried about the ogres because for some reason they like Reichland, and I still have no idea why that is. But they like Reichland, so all the fighting I'm going to do is going to piss them off, but hopefully they're occupied elsewhere. And the elves don't like me, but they don't seem particularly... What's the word for it? They don't seem particularly aggressive, at least, in attacking me. In fact, I don't think they're really at war with anyone, most of these Wood Elf factions. So I sort of think as long as I leave them alone, they'll probably leave me alone. I mean, I guess there's a point at which they would be so upset with me that they probably would go to war. But at the same time, I don't seem to be upsetting them. Because they don't care about Reichland, I guess. And that's what I would be worried about. All right, now, without any further delay, let's go ahead and have Oswald attack and take Grunburg. All right, welcome to the battle. Oswald's first battle, I actually just realized. Basically, I'll just show up the interface here for a minute. Basically, he has all of his infantry lined up, though not quite in a complete straight line. He has his skeleton warriors and his skeleton spearmen all lined up in one long line, but then he has additional units intermixed amongst them. Basically, I'm trying to think of like a good way to use his army effectively since his units are kind of weak. And so what I've come up with is we've got the skeleton warriors, the 3 units of them, here in the center. Now, intermixed among them is the crypt ghoul units on either side here. They'll join up with the skeleton warriors there in a minute. Then I have Oswald himself with the skeleton warrior unit in the middle. The idea here is that I think this is a much more, what would you call it? A heavier hitting, a heavier punching center to really damage an enemy in the center. Basically, because the crypt ghouls are kind of a glass cannon unit. They do like extra poison damage and everything, but they take a lot of damage, I think, in turn. Whereas the skeleton warriors are a little more survivable. They'll last a little bit longer than they do, but still are a better attack unit than the spearmen are. So with their lord and with the crypt ghouls backing them up, I think the skeleton warriors here in the center will do a lot of damage against an enemy that they attack in the center. Now on the flanks, he's got skeleton spearmen on both flanks. And they're a much more defensive unit, so they can kind of hold that flank as the center punches in, and then we have other units to back them up on the flanks too. We've got direwolves over here, and we have direwolves over here. So they'll help out the skeleton spearmen. Like, instead of the spearmen necessarily being the ones do the damage, or doing the damage, they can just sort of hold the flank while the direwolves get in there and chew them up. And of course, the bats will also be able to help, though their first priority is to attack ranged units and kind of keep them bogged down. And then once they're taken care of, they kind of assist the dire wolves in attacking the flanks. So basically, the center can do a lot of damage and hopefully hold the line, and then the flanks will just hold the line while other units do the actual punching. But in this way, I hope we can have like the whole army always attacking, always doing lots of damage against an enemy, and hopefully make up for the fact that, you know, they are rather weak units. These skeleton warriors, skeleton spearmen. I mean, we do have some regiments of renown in there, I think, but I think that just means they're... Like, I don't even think that necessarily makes them mid-tier units. It just makes them not as bad low-tier units. So I'm not, like, expecting, like, the Stalkers, for example, to perform hugely better in comparison to the skeleton, the regular skeleton warriors, and the same with the, like, the crypt ghouls, for example. All right, so now we are getting close enough that we are just about within range of the crossbowmen. So in a moment here, the bats will charge forward and start chewing on them. And yes, the units are slowly walking forward. I was just trying to preserve like their stamina or their binding, whatever you want to call it. But they will start charging forward here in a minute. Oh, and I forgot about the corpse carts. The corpse carts will also stick with the skeleton spearmen on both flanks, kind of boosting that flank as well, helping it survive long enough to have like the wolves and the bats assist them. So I do have them sitting on the inner skeleton spearman unit, just so that I think they have enough of a range here that they're technically also helping out the center when they do that. I think. Or at least maybe just like these units here. And on this side, these units here. Alright, so now the bats are pushing forward to attack the crossbowmen, and the spearmen are going to start charging forward up the hill to get at the enemy here. Of course, they're doing it on that flank, too. There's basically two crossbowmen unit. This one here, and that one over there. So the bats are going straight for them. Now, the bats are a very fragile unit, especially if they have no backup. So I do pull them out pretty quickly here. But I think they did their job of holding up the crossbowmen long enough for the rest of the infantry to engage the enemy. And we also do have the direwolves coming in on the flank over here. And we have direwolves on this flank as well. In fact, one of them is going to charge over there and attack that crossbowman unit, just to make them, well, to stop them from firing at us. And we've got the crossbowmen over here also being attacked by the direwolves. They actually last quite a long time against them. I was actually surprised. Okay, but now that we have the wolves attacking here on the flank, I send the bats forward again, just to get behind the enemy, and then they'll start attacking just different parts of the line here, trying to break the enemy and get them to rout. It honestly doesn't work out very well at first. I mean, we do damage to them, of course, but at the same time, they do a fair bit of damage to us, and this is what I'm kind of worried about with the weaker units not being able to punch as much as I would like. But I think the tactics are pretty effective and will work in future battles. I just wouldn't want to fight a either particularly powerful army with this army, or fight even a necessarily particularly large army. I do prefer outnumbering the enemy like we are doing now. So I realize that the bats are taking a fair bit of damage despite like striking from behind, so I pull them out, and I'm going to have them attack different units this time, basically focusing on this flank over here. The direwolves have finally broken that crossbowman unit and are chewing them quite nicely. This flank is actually more or less in retreat, except for this unit here. And this is actually the captain's unit, which I'm guessing that's why they're standing and fighting for so long. Now with the bats swooping in here, this flank completely crumbles. And actually, I think the army as a whole has basically crumbled at that point, or at this point. So I tell all of the infantry to pull out here so that the wolves and the bats can do all of the work of chewing on the enemy as they try to flee. Sigmar demands blood. Flee! Run away! We're being attacked by literal man-sized bats and undead glowy-eyed wolves. As you can see, like the infantry and the corpse carts and stuff are pulling out, like I said. And we have the bats, and we have the wolves chewing on them as they try to flee. I think this actually does prove what I was talking about before, where the cavalry units are not quite as good at killing fleeing troops because of their like charge bonus, whereas the direwolves are able to really sit in here and kill enemies, chewing on them to death. This is the edge of the map, by the way, which is why they're behaving like that. Wolves over here, finishing them off. I think we're basically done over here, except for that unit here, and then there's like this tiny little bit of a unit right there, these 6 guys there. All right, but anyway, I think you guys get the point. Grunburg is now ours, so I will see you back on the campaign map. All right, so Grunburg is taken. I guess there's no point in damaging our own property, so let's occupy it. I do hope that... Oh, wait, that's not my army. Let's see. Are you guys replenishing nice and quickly? Yes, you are. That's one good thing about the Vampire Count armies. I'm not sure how it is with other factions, since I haven't really played any other factions, but at least the Vampire Counts do seem to replenish very quickly, so Oswald can just immediately move on to Ubersreich next turn. Alright, so now I think...
I shall go.
Wait, can Vlad walk through here without taking... I would think he would take attrition. Because I think this line here indicates, like, this is now, you know, Altdorf's province, and obviously there's very little vampiric corruption here. So I would think he would take casualties.
I agree.
Huh, he's not. I wonder if that's a trait that I missed or something, because I'm pretty sure he should be taking attrition right now. But hey, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. This way, he's definitely close enough to start the siege of Altdorf next turn, which is what we want.
Expand Sylvania's borders.
Let's see. Excellent. Remember, Isabella has that trait that basically causes agents to be far more likely to succeed in their missions while she's in the province. So Posner can get in there and, well, at least do a little bit of damage, I suppose. I'm not sure hindering replenishment, though, will actually matter, because he doesn't have any units that are damaged or anything, but whatever. It's fine. So, yeah, I guess that's basically everything for now, so I will just let you guys go, and I will bring you back as the war continues.